Look at this. I got headphones on. I got a mic going. Baby.
If
Huh?
only people could see you now.
Hey, no video. We've gone through this before.
All right,
No
all right,
video.
all right. Welcome to This Commerce Life. This is a podcast aimed at small, medium entrepreneurs focused on commerce. I'm Phil, your host, and Kenny, your co-host, will join us as well. And we're going to talk to you about the world of retail and commerce and how things are changing in the world. No, you're good. You're good. You're good.
Awesome.
Look at this. First try. Bam, baby.
Wow, eh?
Bam, baby.
Wow.
I love it. I love it.
So, what's going on in the hood?
Jeez, man.
See, the kids are at it.
Yeah. The kids are at it. What's going on? You know what? It's a little bit. It's supposed to be more level-headed, but I don't know if it is. I got back from PetCon Expo. I did my style, right? So I drove down. It's in Philly, right? So it's 7 hours.
It's not next door.
No, yeah. So I drove down, drove back 7 hours, right? So scheduled phone calls for, my driving time, all that kind of stuff. But it was 7 hours down on Monday, set out 7 hours up on Wednesday, like last night. So I got home at like 10. I put in I think I got 2 campfire sessions in. Campfire are like little, kind of little sessions that you do.
Yeah.
And did a couple of panels and went to a couple of networking dinners. So worked it the whole time I was there, and then came home, and then went to class today to teach the kids.
Or have the kids teach you?
I think kids were waking me up all night, but all class. But yeah.
That's good though. So how was the show?
It was good, man. You know what? So I really like this show. So for listeners, I went to Pet Connection Expo, and it's a little show. I'm not sure how many booths there were. There were probably less than 100, maybe 150 booths.
That's still a nice little size. I mean,
yeah. What was really cool was this was super old school because people got stuff done. I could hear people walking down aisles, and there were times when I just didn't want to bother anyone because they were getting deals done. There were deal sheets out. There's orders being made. POs.
So this is an independent, an independent pet show.
Yeah.
Not open to consumers, not one of those shows.
No.
Yeah. Trade show.
No, just trade show.
Really?
Old school. In a.
Wow.
And so a bit of. I guess I'm going to show my age, but a bit of a throwback. The convention center we were in was a little older. So kind of high ceilinged, but all the curtains and everything, and so they kind of cordoned off half for us. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I totally know what you mean. It's almost like going into the old gyms almost.
Yeah. Exactly that, right? But it was super cool. It's just, because people are getting stuff done, and there were a lot of little retailers, guys that were, 7, 8 chain stores, and they were, these guys, they get it because the retailers were telling other retailers about what was happening at the show. Do you know? So it's one of my friends there, Anne Greenberg. So I guess I'm giving the first plug of the night. Anne Greenberg runs a pet brand called A Pet with Paws. And it is the cutest, it's this bag brand. And she just makes the cutest fashion bags, for dog carrier fashion bags, right? It's called A Pet with Paws, and she's been working at it. She's been at this for 2.5 years, trying to just grind a way through this. And at this show, she met up with one 5-chain store out of the Carolinas who just loved her stuff, right? And then that person went and told another retailer who had 5 stores, and then that person told this lady that I know who runs this high-end pet boutique in New York City, who was like, what the F? How come I've never seen these bags? These are amazing bags. They're going to sell in New York City. And I was like, oh, how can I know you and know her and that you guys don't know each other? Do you know what I mean?
That's
But
crazy.
it's funny how retail works, right? And so
Well,
like,
maybe it's just getting back to that old school little bit of
yeah,
networking at the show, right?
yeah,
Because I
yeah,
guess if you're an independent, you got to start leveraging these shows a
yeah,
lot better too, right?
yeah. Yeah, just really old school, and like, so it was weird to hear two retailers in completely different geographic regions, but they were like, these are the cutest bags, right? Like two
That's
women buyers,
awesome.
and they're just like, you gotta go over and see these. I'm getting one, and I'm getting one, and I'm getting one. And then, like me being the troublemaker, right? I wandered in and said, I bought one of those for my friend, and she's got this little chihuahua, and he loves this bag. And I was showing her pictures, right? And they're like, oh my God.
You're a beauty. You're a beauty. That's awesome.
But
That's awesome.
it was like, if you ever go to a
That's a
show,
fun
this is
show.
why you go, right?
That's like doing old hockey
You know,
card shows
yeah,
or comic book shows,
yeah,
coin shows, where when they're so
yeah,
small like that, they're just awesome, right? Especially if you
yeah,
got good stuff, and it sounds like there was good stuff there,
yeah, 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 yeah.
right?
So
So a lot of
now,
independent crafty type people.
yeah, lots of independence, lots of up and coming. We saw, what I saw that I thought was super cool? There was a brand there called Jiminy's, and they do cricket powder protein for dogs.
Yeah, that's
It's
awesome.
amazing. Yeah. I've never learned so much about cricket powder. Like one of the panels I did was like a Dragon's Den style, and she presented, and I just had a million questions. But like the other two that I was sitting with uh, Taz Khalifa, who's the owner of Petropolis in New York City, and I was sitting with another guy there, both retailers, and they were just like had all these questions about crickets, and I was like, I don't understand. Like, I understand drugs, I understand like how to source all sorts of things. Oh, I should say that I understand pharmaceutical
OTC.
drugs.
Okay, I understand. I mean, everybody else might be thinking peddling dope, but that's fine.
Well,
It's
everybody
OTC,
understood me too,
over the counter drugs,
but so
legal over the counter
so I
drugs.
understand sourcing, I understand ingredient,
Yeah.
but these guys were like, "Where are the crickets fun? What do you feed the crickets? How like
Oh shit,
how
they're that
you know
hardcore.
like how do you process the crickets?" And I was like, "Whoa, wait, what?" Like,
How does it matter? Like shit,
I
really?
I
Well,
am
I guess
not
it
like,
sort of
yeah,
does.
it
Yeah, I
does,
never
and
thought of that.
they were all like, no, so she was saying like the cricket lives 80% of its life before they harvest it. They feed it. I can't remember what they feed it. They feed it totally natural stuff, whatever crickets eat. But they feed them totally natural stuff. They know where the stuff comes from. Even I think there's some grains in it or something like that.
So
Or
it's a pretty tight supply chain.
yeah, it's a really tight supply chain. And then what they do is they lower the temperature. It puts all the crickets to sleep, right? It's all like they all go into hibernation, and that's when they harvest them. So that's when they roast them and
Really?
all this stuff. So I was like, this is amazing. Like, who knew all this stuff about crickets, right? Like, what the hell? You know what I mean?
That's
Like,
pretty impressive. I didn't I know
yeah,
any of this. I don't know any of this either. It's funny because
right.
I'm supposed oh no, I'm gonna meet up with Coast Protein hopefully in the
Yeah.
next couple of weeks. Same thing. Like that's what they do. It's all about cricket based food.
Okay. I'm a
Right? It's
big
just funny.
fan.
I
Yeah.
know I knew it was big anyway, but I just
Yeah.
didn't realize it was in that.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
That's awesome.
It's crazy, right? I was just like, what? Like, somebody educate me. This is amazing, right? So I was like going through this stuff like crazy.
That's
It was
awesome.
amazing. Yeah. Yeah.
That
Yeah.
might be something cool to take a look at importing it. I
Yeah.
don't know what the rules around cricket import or
Yeah.
powder is. I mean, I'm sure it's
Yeah.
in theory. I mean, if it's processed, it's processed.
Yeah. Yeah.
Unless it has to go through like meat or something stupid, or
I don't
it's
think so.
not
I don't think
dairy.
so. But I actually think I don't know for sure because literally I had the 15 minutes with this Jiminy
Right.
lady, but I think local crickets might actually be cheaper than even importing it.
Well, I guess not
Even,
instead of doing anything,
yeah.
just importing the actual
Yeah,
end
yeah, yeah.
product.
Yeah, yeah,
Right? That way you don't
yeah.
have why reinvent the wheel.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah.
Right? Do you know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like
Yeah, I
it's
do.
if it's already
Yeah.
there, it's already there. I just find it pretty cool that I never heard of it for pet. I guess at the end of the day, a protein's a protein,
Yeah.
and you'd rather give your pet, obviously, I'm assuming, what do you call an animal-based protein,
Yep. Yeah, yeah. And
right?
then the environmental play is enormous, right?
Oh,
Like
it's
the
better than freaking
whole
cattle,
yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah,
for
yeah.
sure, for
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah.
That is pretty cool.
It is really cool.
That is
I
pretty
do
cool.
want to say this. So to the fans who listen to us, we kind of broke the seal on this. So I'm recording Kenny's face, but we've broken the seal.
Now,
So we're on YouTube. We're on YouTube, right? Because we like last time we filmed that thing on YouTube. So that means that
yeah,
the last episode we did is also on YouTube. So we have 2 YouTube episodes up on YouTube, right? Like the
geez, I gotta
last
start making
episode.
sure I look okay then. I can't do this just in my underwear.
No,
Holy
but I think the thing is if you want to see how excited we got, you got to go check out the YouTube channel, because when I was talking about this show, you should have seen the 2 of us smiling ear to ear, right? Because thinking about the old days of how you kind of like, moving and shaking and like, making deals and, making sales and all that kind of stuff. So it was pretty cool. Like, now you can actually see how excited we get, not just hear us, right? So Kenny's feeling very awkward.
yeah, I feel really. I really don't like being filmed.
I was trying not
okay,
to.
we're gonna let you have your little fun and do your little thing, but,
No,
that's all good in the hood.
But I can't leave just one video up, right? So I had to do last week's episode, and you were in China, so I don't want to hassle you while you're out there. But I guess we're on YouTube now, so
We're stars, man.
We are.
We're just rock stars, even if it's in our own mind.
Yeah,
it really doesn't matter.
It is in our own mind, in our own YouTube channel,
in our own podcast. Again, where we figure we might have 10 people listening to us these days.
Yeah.
That's awesome, buddy.
Man,
that's good. That sounds like a cool little show. I love those.
Yeah.
I do. I like those. I like those small type of shows.
Yeah, this one
where you walk around. It just, I don't know. It's cool seeing. It's actually kind of nice about it too. It shows that there's some vibrancy still in the in the small retail. Like as freaked out as they might all be about Amazon and big box.
Yeah.
Obviously, they're still coming out.
Yeah.
Right?
It is. It's really great. Like it's really amazing, and to hear them talking about these little guys and how nimble they are about trying to figure out delivery, and how they get to there's one guy there who was saying that anytime he's out of stock on something, the minute he gets back in stock, he takes down all the names of the people who came in while he was out of stock, and then he hand delivers all the out of stock products.
Brilliant.
You're just like, that is craziness, but that's brilliant, right?
No
like
big box is going to do that.
Yeah, no.
I mean, they could, right? They could set it up where it would do that, but I mean, there's really no.
But they won't.
That's a nice personal touch, right?
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's a smart. A game where we always talk about, if you want to, connect with your consumer, that's pretty clever.
That's it.
That's pretty clever.
Yeah, I know.
Not just call them, but actually say, hey, it's here. I'm on my way.
Yeah.
That's awesome, man.
Yeah. So that's been the week. It's been pretty fun. And then today we work through the rest of your plan for your stuff. And
awesome.
They've got some really cool stuff. I'll say that I had to gatekeep some of it, right? So if you're for the listeners catching up, I have students I teach social media marketing and search engine marketing, and Kenny's graciously offered up his coffee bar and his coffee brand for us to work on. And so my students have kind of been hard at work building up some content pillars and some things we want to explore and test and kind of renovate and do some stuff with it, drive more traffic to Kenny's coffee bar, and the coffee brand itself. So we've got so I collected the last of their ideas today, so I'll put it together and I'll send it over to you, but so you can see it. I'm
pretty stoked. I'm pretty excited to see what they've actually what they've come up with. I think it's going to be I don't know. It's always cool when if you can get some younger people kind of looking at it and farting around with it, right?
Yeah. They were making fun of me today. I was like, so one of the things that we want to do is we really want to test your correlation between your coffee and the coffee bar. And I said to them, it'd be really neat if we just put up like a little IRC, not an RC, but one of those scan codes so that you can scan it with your phone. Yeah. So if your barista's making, a certain coffee, they can scan it and then go to Amazon and buy it. And it made all these millennials look at me funny, right? Like,
Why? What was the issue of that?
well, because they don't use them.
Oh,
I
okay.
think only old people use them, right? So I was like,
I mean, you and I probably wouldn't even use them that often, but at least I know what the hell they are.
I know, right? Like, and so I was like, and so I kind of, I'm explaining the idea. I'm kind of excited. I think this is a cool thing. And they're all kind of like, and I was like, what are you all whispering? And they're like, sorry, sir, I don't think anybody uses those, right? Like, does anybody use them? And everyone's like, not really. I'll just search it. Like, I'll take a picture and then I'll search it. I'm like, oh God.
Why would you? Okay, but that's old school.
That is.
Why don't they use technology that they could just bounce to it right away or just go to it? Like, isn't that the whole point?
So I think for iPhone users have to load an extra app in order to be able to do it.
You got to get a QR code reader.
Right, but Androids don't though. Androids, we just you just wave your phone over it and Androids go and pick it up right away. So that was something I didn't know.
I didn't know that either. I mean, I knew we had to get an app. I didn't know you guys didn't need an app. We definitely need an app.
Yeah, we don't.
I mean, which is not a big deal, but it's an extra app that really, there's already a phone load.
Yeah.
We all got phone loads of apps, so we don't need.
Well, and the students were saying that was like, well, if I got to do that, I'm just gonna, if I got to do that, I'll just I got to load the app. I might as well just go to Amazon and look for the product, right?
Okay, so then ideally, then what's if it's not that, how do you make it easy to get them to go to, whether it's and we've talked about this before, whether it's to Amazon or to London?
Yeah,
you want an online play, like in my city, London Drugs would be preferred. But how do you do that?
Yeah, no, there's a bunch of ways. So there's a bunch of ways to do that. I mean, one is being able to.
They'll use.
Yeah, but some of it, I mean, there's kind of there's a million ways to do this. So we have a whole bunch of geotag options that we want to try with you.
Right.
So if you live in the Vancouver area, if your subscribers live in that area, being able to drive them to a London Drugs or to Amazon. Sorry. If they live in the Vancouver area, we drive them to the bar. And then if they live outside the Vancouver area, you drive them to Amazon using geotags. So there's a bunch of stuff that we can do there. That'll kind of split off your consumers, so we can drive them to the right place. And then there's a whole bunch of stuff I got for you, like a whole.
That'd be cool. That'd be interesting to see, right? It'd be nice to see a spike in retail, obviously, right?
Yeah. These guys have some
right. And again, it doesn't have to be a store location, even if it is on the online location. So even if you're within the city, you may not always be close to a London, but you're definitely close to your laptop or phone.
Yep.
Right.
Yeah.
So whether you go to London Drugs at that point, or if you go to Amazon, it doesn't really matter where you go. Yeah. I mean, ideally shop local, but
there's a video. I'm trying not to give it all away, but
don't tell me all of it, because I want some excitement, because I'm really hyperactive anyway when I see what the hell they've done.
There's a video series they want to be able to do, because millennials are all about the pour over, the perfect pour over, all that kind of stuff, right?
Yeah.
So there's a series of videos that we want to be able to do too, that tie that to the heritage, because one thing that we noticed right away is that your bar has some pretty serious heritage to it, right? It's got kind of that 30 years of history behind you.
Yeah, totally.
So we want to be able to tell some of that. Yeah, so we want to be able to tell some of that,
right,
and tie it to, to the bar, and then to the coffee, and all that kind of stuff. So there's some really neat.
Well, you got the BIA that retweeted your tweet. I mean, Commercial Drive's excited about having people come to Commercial Drive.
Yeah,
and at the end of the day, if the kids do people down there, I mean, it's not going to hurt other merchants on the drive. I mean, ideally, I don't want to be pushing people to my competitors.
Nope.
But my competitors are probably being it's nobody's going to lose on stuff like this.
Yeah.
And it might even motivate the BIA to say, okay, listen, how do we, these kids have got a project going. How's the bar doing? If it's doing well, can they help us out?
Yeah.
And now you drive into a street. How do you get more people to come down to the actual drive?
Oh my gosh. Well, no, but in specific,
that's cool, man.
You guys is being able to tie the heritage to almost prop it side by side with a brand.
But it shouldn't be that way, Phil. The whole purpose of the brand was, when the guys started the brand years ago, that's what they wanted to do. They wanted it to be about what they remembered when they were traveling abroad, et cetera, et cetera.
Yeah.
And what they wanted to do with the bar, when they got the bar idea in their head, was to try to do the European thing. It doesn't work here because in Europe, like we talked about, is you have your coffee and bugger off. There's no seats. You don't waste my
yeah.
You know, I don't want people sitting down all day doing nothing. So you want them to get the hell out.
Yeah. We have
some
plans for that too. We have some plans for that too. It's
perfect.
Anyway,
very cool, man.
Lots and lots of things.
Very cool.
Yeah. So pretty excited. I just got to clean it up. It's almost like me keeping up with them now, right? Because it is like all these things. You know, I'm like, whoa, slow down, right? Like,
well, I mean, how many times did they get a real life? Real life entity to sort of play.
Yeah. It's just it's super fun. Right?
Project, right?
Yeah.
It's a real life.
Yeah. Well, and the way I've said it to them is, look, it's real life. We own the results. You own the success, right? If you bomb at it, Kenny's going to yell at me, right? He's not going to yell at all 18 of you. He's going to yell at me. So I own the mistake. If it's successful, we all own it, and then you put it on your resume, right? That you've done this thing.
100%.
You know what I mean? Like, so,
100%.
and so they're all like, "Oh, this is so amazing," right? So
exactly. I mean, you want to do something. You want to be able to go into something. This is what I worked on.
Yeah.
You know, not a bullshit. Here's a case study we did on. You know, why
Something
Starbucks is successful. Who cares?
Yeah.
Right. Do it in an actual spot with actual people. That's actually running.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm pretty stoked on this, man. This should be kind of cool.
Yeah, I'm pretty excited. So I'll get it together and then we'll go through it and
Very cool.
Very cool.
Very cool.
Yeah, so that's what's going on with me. I got all this stuff going on. Trying to figure out what else there is. I've got this New Zealand pet brand, and I had this funny. It's not funny actually. I had a really weird aha moment on the way home.
Today or on the drive?
On the drive home. I mean, like it's 7 hours from Philadelphia to Toronto, so it's a lot of aha moments. And I realized that I called her, I FaceTimed her from the car, right? Not the actual FaceTime, but just the audio calling. Yeah. And I said to her, I think I fucked up our costing. And she's like, what are you talking about, right? Like, where are you calling from? And it's just because, you have that moment. And then I it's the 7 hour drive, right? So I'm thinking about this thing going, I don't think I worked out her freight properly. Do you know? Like, because she's got to ship this stuff.
Buddy, that's a problem, man.
She's got
a container from New Zealand or an LCL from
and
to be cheap.
Right.
It's not cheap in China right now. Never mind.
Yeah. So I was like,
oh, Jesus.
I don't think I did that right? Like I'm pretty sure. She goes, I'm pretty sure LTL will be fine. I'm like, I'm pretty sure LTL isn't going to be fine. Like, have you shared the deck? And she goes, I'm shared it with anyone. I'm like, all right. The good thing is she's in New Zealand. She wants to come to the US, right? But we've kind of had this back and forth because she said, like, don't you just do a straight translation of my retails? And I go, no, I don't think so, because you're in New Zealand, right? Like New Zealand to US, I think you have free license to do whatever the hell you want with the retails, right? Like there's no moment where a retailer in Australia is going to go, what the hell? Like,
Buddy, I can make an argument for doing completely something different, Vancouver to Toronto.
Yeah, right. So
what the hell's the difference?
So I said to her, I think we need to. Yeah. Anyway, so long story short is, I came home. I was dead tired, but I still fired up the computer to see, like.
So what'd you do?
No, I did account for freight, but I think I was too conservative.
So how much would you allocate?
So I actually worked out what an LTL would be for her. Do you know what I mean? So it wound up, like, I actually calculated a flat fee per shipment. Figured out
pallet.
what her by pallet.
So
right?
What'd you figure a pallet's going to come from Australia is wasn't it worth?
It was going to be, I think it was something like $500 a pallet.
US.
Yeah.
You should be fine with that. I would guess that it's probably like $350 US from China. Okay. So I would think that probably.
Okay, so maybe I'm okay.
I think you're okay. I mean, a small can from Asia now is probably $1,700 to $2,000.
Okay.
US dollars, right? And that's 10 pallets, more or less, right?
Okay.
So I would think doubling and a bit because you're in New Zealand, I think you should be okay. And if you're not, I mean, I don't think it's going to be 1,000.
No, I don't think so either.
So if you missed 600, 650.
But while I'm at it, I might screw around with her retails now.
Oh, I would.
I'm just.
I would. What's if someone really wanted to order it, then they can order from New Zealand.
Yeah, totally. Yeah.
Cover so how does that work out?
Yeah.
No. But, you know what I mean? Like at the end of the day, then how does it's not the same?
Yeah.
It's going to cost you a fortune.
Yeah. So I am. Yeah. So I'm gonna anyway. I'm in it. I'm gonna retest all my stuff to make sure I've made enough room for a distributor or broker. Like all that kind of
stuff. The usual stuff. I think your freight's okay. I think it is. I mean, I don't know either. Okay. I'm assuming it's more expensive to ship from New Zealand than it is from Shenzhen, right? Or probably similar to Europe. I mean, you could probably even find it.
I think I did. I had that, literally, I think it's like usually shipping is like a minor entry, right? Because when you're in North America, it costs something, we complain about it, but it's not that big of a deal. Do you know what I mean? And so I think I looked.
What's it cost me to get a pallet to Ontario?
I don't know. I don't remember.
$300 to $400?
No, less than that.
Can be. Depends on the weight. It's not cheap right now. It probably costs you $150 to get one to Alberta.
You're right.
From here. Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah.
Because remember, a lot of it depends on what's going back and forth. Yeah. If they're backhauling or deadheading or whatever. I mean, there's it can change the game. I think you should be fine.
Yeah.
Shipping is a big deal. I mean, shipping is a pretty substantial cost a lot of times.
Well, and especially because nobody goes back and forth from New Zealand. Nobody.
Well, that's just it, right?
That's what makes it
right? Well, and if you think about it, if they're going back and forth where they're going, they're probably going back and forth to Australia.
Yeah.
Right? Or they're probably a thing. So your product may have to go to Australia, then maybe up toward China, and then maybe across.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. I don't know what we import in the States or Canada from New Zealand. Sorry, New Zealand people. It's not that we don't care about you, but honestly, I don't know.
I don't think, at the risk of sounding very ignorant, I think Kiwis. And that's about it.
That's what I was going to say too, but I didn't want to say that just in case I was. So I let you go with that one.
All right.
Because that's the only thing I could think of, right? Now we look like complete morons, but anyway, every week.
Now we've lost the New Zealanders.
Or is it okay? So we've lost all our New Zealand listeners. That's great. Good job, buddy. We killed that one.
Well, in a couple of episodes, we sounded like complete a-holes, so we lost all the minorities,
We've lost most of the women, most of the minorities, anybody from island countries.
Yeah.
Good, man. Pretty soon, it'll be just me and you talking.
Yeah,
Honestly. Unbelievable. Oh,
man. What about you? What's going on?
Nothing. I'm just trying to organize my world right now. It's been, the last couple months, like I said, I've gotten so many things thrown at me. I've got to start taking shit off my plate.
Yeah.
And I think the last couple, 3-4 weeks, actually probably the last 8 to 12 weeks, it's some of the things I'm doing, I have to get off my plate. So today I decided, I woke up, I thought, that's it. I'm not doing key account anymore. I'm dropping all my accounts, giving it back to the principals. Okay. Doesn't sound like a lot, but if you're calling on, two independent grocers in town and the drugstore, it's the
prep work, right? It's the prep work. It's getting ready.
But it's 10 to 15 hours a month for sure.
Yeah.
And then it's all the bullshit in between, and it's stuff I don't like it. I never wanted to do this.
Yeah.
That wasn't the point of going on my own. Wasn't to go back and I didn't want to sell.
Yeah.
I'm not a rep. I'm not good at it. I don't like it. I don't like the detail.
Yeah.
I like the strategy. I like the analytics. I like all the cool shit on the other side. And lately, honestly, I've gotten so many little companies that want to sit and chat.
Nice.
Right. And it's always the same thing that you and I always talk about. I'll keep saying it because the little guys really need to get it.
Yeah.
Costing, pricing, how do you go to market?
Yeah.
Is it bricks and mortar? Is it online? Is it both? Whatever. But that takes a lot of time, but I actually enjoy that.
Yeah.
I really have little enjoyment for the selling aspect. I don't like it. I just don't like it. So I finally thought, you know what, piss on it. I'm shutting it down. It's
Nice.
just getting me anxiety. I just don't have time, and I don't
Yeah.
want to do a piss poor job for
Yeah.
the retailer nor the vendor. So
Yeah.
I just screw it. That's it.
Yeah.
So that's actually
Nice.
kind of a nice load off. Is that, you know,
Nice.
I can focus on what I like to do
Yeah. It'll
as
help you
opposed
breathe
to
a
doing
little bit
that.
easier too.
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
so.
Yeah.
Or if not, I'll just load up
Yeah.
extra things. But again, it's at least where I want them to
Yeah.
be.
Yeah.
That's sort of the
Yeah.
key. So it's kind of the thing we always talk about, even as, you know, as when you're doing shit like this or as an entrepreneur, is that you perpetually need to look and analyze. And sometimes you got to make decisions that'll cost you some money, but you got to do what you like to do. Like that's what
Yeah.
the whole point is, right? That's why we did this now,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Just to do that, is to have some fun with this,
Yeah.
not be thinking, oh shit, I hate doing this.
Yeah. I mean, that's really, I mean, that's the biggest part of all this, right? Is like, if you could, you almost need to keep doing that. I was asking one of my firesides this week. That was my thing. You know, I was telling them about the podcast and how we talk about this with entrepreneurs all the time. So I said to them, you know, here's how you figure out what you're worth, right? Like, here's how you know when to do it and when not to do it, right? Like,
Right.
and this is the same conversation, which is like, if you could hire people to do everything you do, what's the one thing that you can't hire anybody to do that's your thing? Do you know?
Exactly.
Like,
And this
and
stuff
that's
is
it, you know?
replaceable by other people
Yeah.
within any of the organizations I do. And again,
Yeah.
that they're better at it than I'm ever going to be.
Yeah.
And they like to, like, this started bothering me probably just before Europe. And in Europe, because, you know, you're getting emails back, you're thinking, I don't want to do this shit. Because
Yeah.
it's not that I don't care. It's not that I can fix per se. But
Yeah,
when you
yeah.
have your accounts phoning and saying, hey, listen, we need to figure out the pricing of this and the retail and the costing. How do we do
Yeah.
it? I'm on holidays. I'm loving my work.
Yeah.
But hey, where's my order?
Yeah.
Something was short. You're thinking,
The
like, do you
paperwork
really think I give a shit?
You know, can you amend box number 31 and send it back, right? Like,
Yeah, whatever.
yeah.
Yeah, not interested. Not interested.
Man. All right. That's the end of this Commerce Life. We'll be back soon with the next episode. Thank you for joining us. We hope you enjoyed it. Give us feedback. Tell us what you think. Subscribe, like us, join us, share us, tell your friends about us. And we hope to see you next time with more commerce news.